What's going on? This your boy, Chris Simmons, coming to you with another podcast episode, man, on this beautiful Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I should say. Excuse me. It is past 12 o'clock on the East Coast, man. Hopefully, y'all having a great day so far, man. I know I'm definitely enjoying my weekend right now. Saturday morning, you already know what that means. I had yoga class this morning. I went with my boy Dev, man. We knocked it out this morning at 9 a.m. And man, it felt so good, man, to be in that studio, bro. I was tight early. I was tight, man, before going to that class because I was outside yesterday on Friday and I was shooting hoops with my dudes, man. Uh, we went outside by our apartment. So by our apartment that I stay in, they got a basketball hoop and everything like that. So we was outside. We was running fours, full court. Uh, and yeah, we were just having fun, man. It was a little warm outside. It was actually a beautiful day outside yesterday. So we was running fours, back and forth. And yeah, like we was playing like 5, 6 games, and my body was tight, like my legs was tight, man. So I definitely needed that yoga this morning, man. I'm feeling good. And then I also just, had some breakfast not too long ago, man. Boy chefing it up in the kitchen, making them some eggs, some turkey bacon, some toast, man. And we back on here. We back on the podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? We back on the podcast. And I'm here to deliver another great episode. But before, obviously before I get into the episode, I always love to give y'all an update on what's about to happen. So my birthday is coming up in 10 days. Happy birthday to me. You already know what that is. Happy birthday to me. I'm about to turn 22. For those of you who don't know, I am turning 22. So I'm getting up there. Not really, but I'm getting older, man, and I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and go out to this steakhouse. I'm gonna go out and go to this place called Red Steakhouse. It's up there in Pinecrest, which is a suburb area in Cleveland, Ohio. It's like a little suburb outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm gonna bring my boys up there. It's gonna be about a total of 9 of us. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be pretty expensive, man. We're gonna have to break the bank, but it's worth it, man. Like I said, it's worth it. I've been there. I've been there one time for my friend Dev's 21st birthday. His birthday was back in April, and we just decided, hey, look, this place looks like a good place. So we just went ahead, checked it out, and man, it was phenomenal. Like the food was phenomenal. We had appetizers, we had the calamari. The calamari was phenomenal. I know when we go back, we're probably gonna have to get 2 of them boys because he didn't invite as many people as I did. So we're definitely gonna get 2 of them for the appetizer, and of course, the steak is off the chain. The steak is phenomenal. Last time I had the 16-ounce ribeye, but this time I'm gonna do the big boy ribeye. I'm gonna do 24 ounce. The only reason I didn't get it last time because it said $62 on it. The difference between the 16 ounce and the 24 ounce, obviously, besides size, the 24 ounce is actually the bone in. So for those of you who know their meats, who know steak, usually the bone in ribeye is usually the most flavorful ribeye because of the bone and because it's more juicier. That's why it's more expensive. So I said, you know what, for my birthday, I'm gonna get the 24-ounce boy with the bone-in ribeye. So that's what we're gonna get. That's coming. That's gonna be in about next week. So next Saturday, I will be going to the steakhouse, and I'll be having a great time up there, man. Looking forward to seeing my dudes. As of right now, is everybody's scheduled to come, so I'm really excited, really looking forward to it, man. Because it's life, bro. I mean, it's about enjoying yourself. It's about enjoying your life. Taking advantage of, you know, every single moment that you live, and really, looking at my birthdays. Now that I've gotten older, it's less about trying to get stuff for my birthday. When you was a kid, you was always like looking forward to getting stuff, getting gifts from your parents or you know grandparents or whatnot. People look for trying to get material things, but for me, it's more about trying to celebrate me being able to see another year. And it really hit me last year when I celebrated my 21st birthday, because last year, it was 2020. We were real deep into COVID. We were real deep into wearing masks and social distancing and everything like that. And when people turn 21, they're like, "Oh, so what are you having to drink?" But for me, it was more about just being able to be thankful that I was still in be able to make it to C21. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there was a lot of people who lost their lives due to COVID, and lost their lives during that time of the year. And for me, it was just more about just being thankful that I was still alive in 2020, man. And God bless, all glory to God, man. He's kept me this far, man. And that means I just got a lot to, still got a lot more to accomplish. So that's what 21st was. People were like, "Oh, you didn't have no drink." I was like, "No, no, no, no. It's more about just being blessed to be able to see another year." And that's really the whole point. And that was really, the the thing that I really enjoyed the most was being able to get together with friends and family, and being able to celebrate that, man. So that's my thing. That's my take on, when every time I celebrate a birthday, as I've gotten older, I've started to realize the bigger picture, just being able to see in another year. And that's why we go out. So anyway, man, I know I went on a tangent right there, but that's all right, man. I just thought I'd just give you an explanation and just, let y'all know that my birthday is coming up, about to turn 22, baby. So you already know what that is, man. And for those of you who may not know, I'm definitely about to get my book published. So next week, the next week, I will be working with the publishing company. We're going to talk out some things, talk out some numbers, and I'm going to see if I want to go for it. I most likely will. I most likely will be able to be paying for my book to get published. And they say it will take approximately 3 months. So that's what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to being able to hopefully be published by December. Next week, I think I'm going to be talking to the guy on the 23rd. And, 3 months from then, that's going to be December 23rd. So that's going to be around Christmas time. So around Christmas time, if you're looking for a gift to give somebody, hey, go check out my book, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be very useful, very impactful. And, you're going to really love the type of content that I wrote in that book, because I worked very hard on it. So, hey, man, when my book comes out, hey, go ahead and get you a copy, man. So I'll be greatly appreciative if you do. And, just go ahead and see what you like, man. Go ahead and check it out, man. Check your boy out, because your boy has became a writer now. Your boy has had this passion, developed this passion for writing, even though when I was in school, I hated writing. I hated writing. But then all of a sudden, I just developed this passion for it. And even though, people might be like, "Oh, what's your major?" Because I am in college. I am majoring in business management. But when people hear that I also write, that, they kind of tend to be surprised, because they're like, "Man, you know, are you a journalism major?" I'm like, "No, I mean, I just like to write." Like, what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm not this major in college does not mean that I have to only do things in that major. I can be whoever I want to be. I can be a chef, like I can know how to cook. I can, write, I can speak. Like I'm not a communications major, but I love to speak. So it's like I have all these gifts that I can use, but I don't have to limit them to only do one thing, because my major says I have to focus in this area. I can be all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Come on, baby. I'm preaching to y'all right now. But yeah, man, that's what's going on. I'm going to finally get my book published, and hopefully it'll be on the shelves. I plan on doing the text or ebook version on Amazon, and also being able to hopefully get it in shelves and Barnes and Nobles and bookstores like that. So go check it out if you see it on the shelves, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, a lot of great things coming up. And also, I also plan on taking a trip to Chicago, man. I'm also planning on taking a little weekend trip to Chicago during Veterans Day, because in college, we don't have school on Veterans Day, which is Thursday. I don't have classes Friday. So me and my roomies, we're deciding to go out to Chicago, got the hotel booked and everything. So like I said, I always love to get y'all up there. I always got a lot of stuff that I want to tell y'all, man, because like I said, this is about disinfecting your life. This is about living your best life. And so what I always love to give examples of how I'm doing it, because it's possible. If I can do it, you most certainly can make time to be able to do things that you want to do in your life, because like, you've probably seen that life is precious. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is not promised, because tomorrow, you don't know if you will. So it's like, when you have the opportunity to do something right now, take advantage of it right now. All right. But anyway, man, we're gonna get right into today's topic. And today's topic, I always love to set it up with a scenario. I always love to be able to kind of, give you like a little scenario or a story, if you will, and just love to be able to set up just to kind of flow into the topic, man. So, one thing that I want to also, one thing I want to mention, going into this topic, one thing that I've noticed about being in college is that, the college culture, people always emphasize the importance of going to college because they're like, if you go to college, you'll be able to, get a good job and be able to live, a really good life. People really put emphasis, especially parents, they put a lot of emphasis on the kids going to college. And I'm in college, I'm a senior and I'm about to graduate. I'm scheduled to graduate in the spring of 2022. So like literally in about a year from now, I plan on graduating and doing big things out here. But one thing that you'll notice that about the college culture, for those of you who have been in college or who are currently in college, is one of the things that people love to do is party. Every weekend, somebody is going out and partying and getting drunk. And that's just a college norm. I mean, it's become a norm. When people say you're in college, one thing they ask you is, are you a party? Do you like to drink? Do you like to smoke and everything like that? And that's what I've noticed about a lot of people who go to college is they take it as like a playground. It's almost like an adult playground where a lot of students tend to maybe do a little work during the week, and then on the weekend they get hammered. That's the term called hammer, which also means getting drunk beyond your limit, right? And that's what I've noticed, because I've been out, I've gone to parties, and I've seen the type of environment those parties are. 99, I can honestly say 99% of those people at those parties are drunk and don't know where they're at. And because they want to they feel like it's a way for them to loosen up and have fun, which I think is cap. So I'm gonna use another term that our generation uses. I'm like Generation Z or whatnot. So, if you listen to this and you a little older than me and you wondering what is some of this slang, I mean, this is what we use when we say cap. When I say the word cap, it's basically saying you lying. So when people say they gotta drink to have fun, I think that as they lying, like they playing themselves. That's cap, because I don't necessarily believe that you have to do that in order to have fun, right? And so one thing that surprises people about me is that I've never participated in any of these artificial activities. And when I say artificial activities, I'm talking about I've never drank, I've never smoked, nor have I had sex. Okay. And that's another thing that people always, asking people is how many bodies you got. They worried about your body count. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why does that matter? Like people, like I've never had sex before. Because I'm not married. And I don't believe in sex before marriage. That's just what I believe. Now I'm just talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to come at you because that's what you do. If you do that, I mean, that's on you. I'm just talking to myself. I'm having a conversation with myself. And I'm saying I don't believe in that because, I believe that that's fornication. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting how people are so surprised that I don't do any of those things. And they always question me. They're like, how come you haven't had at least one drink? Even I'm 21 years old. I've been 21 for almost a year, still never had a drink. And people are so surprised. Like this one girl who I'm talking to, and she was like, you're 20. She's like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 21. She's like, you're 21 and never had a drink? I was like, no, because that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm about. I'm more into health and fitness. My thing is I love working out. I love working out and eating good foods. I like taking care of my body, man. So, when you talk about putting drinking and smoking in an equation, that just doesn't equal. Like it's like when you try to divide a number divided by zero. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to divide one divided by zero. It just doesn't come up with anything. So literally, when you talk about drinking and smoking, when you talk about me drinking and smoking and putting that into the equation, that just doesn't add up. But the point I want to emphasize is that sometimes when you try to be yourself, people gonna dog you out. Sometimes when you do stuff differently than other people, they're gonna dog you out for it because it's not what they thought you would do. See, sometimes people be dogging me out because I don't drink. Sometimes people be dogging me out. They be like laughing because I've never had sex. I've never had sex with somebody. I'm like, bro, why does that matter to you? Like, why are you so concerned about me being a virgin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have people that are like question you and question why you do things because you do certain things differently from them. And one thing that I've noticed about me and myself is that I stand out from a lot of people. Like, when especially in college, I stand out from the rest. The average person in college, goes out every weekend or likes to drink or likes to smoke, but I'm not average. And in order for you to stand out, you got to be above average. And that means you got to do things differently than other people. So if you're trying to reach a certain level in your life, if you want to try to reach some type of big dream or big goal in your life, you have to do stuff that others won't do. Right. So that means for me, like getting up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, nobody, no college student does that. No college student can ever say, well, I'm not trying to say every college student doesn't do this, but like most college students don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Because why not? Because they don't have most of them can't. Most of them is because they drink so much that they really can't, that they really can't, they physically can't do it. Or some of them are just lazy. Some of them just don't want to do it because it's just too early for them. They don't have that discipline. They don't have that drive. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no reason for waking up in the morning. But my reason for doing what I do is so I can outwork the rest of the population, because the top 1%, we always talk about the top 1%. The top 1% is doing things that people won't do. The top 1% is either getting up earlier and staying up later, man. You know what I'm saying? They're sacrificing some things in order for them to be able to get to a certain level in their life. So we talk about trying to become successful. We talk about trying to be who you want to be. Some things you may have to sacrifice. Some things you may have to give up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you can't expect to go on this path in your life if you're trying to follow everybody else's path in life. And see, I've never been about trying to follow other people just so I can get approval from other people, right? Because I have a different goal in life. My goal is to be a motivational speaker. My goal is to be able to travel around the world. My goal is to, be able to live as long as I can. And there's some things that I don't do that may be shocking to other people. They're like, oh, you don't, oh man, you don't be eating this, you don't be eating that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I had a discussion about this with my roommates. I told them I don't like Taco Bell. Two of them love Taco. Actually, a few of them love Taco Bell. They love to eat Taco Bell and Burger King. Those are two fast food places I will not eat, nor McDonald's. I'm just not into fast food as I used to be. Why? Because like I said, like I'm trying to achieve something. I'm trying to be on a different level. You know what I mean? And sometimes sometimes things you do will be foreign to people, right? But you cannot let that stop you, if you can't allow that to change what your values are, right? Because you should never ever compromise who you are to try to impress someone who isn't aligned with your value system. Just because just because you choose not to drink doesn't mean you got to go out your way to do it just because you want to impress somebody else. And I've never been about that. As I've gotten older, I've realized that the only applause that really matters is God's applause. Because people gonna come and go out your life. You may be thinking that you gotta do this, you gotta try to impress somebody in your life, but chances are, how long is that person going to be there? Because people come and go. Like that's what I've learned when I graduated high school. When I graduated high school, that was the biggest eye opener for me, because I realized that, in high school, I used to be this type of guy that tried to impress other people. Like I tried to change up stuff. Like sometimes I may say one thing, I may, those people like who always change up what they say when they're around different people. They may believe one thing about something, and then all of a sudden when they get around another person, they want to switch up their view just so it can kind of align with what they think it is. And that's how I used to be, man. I used to be like, a person who would try to put on these different masks and would try to, you know, change my look, change my approach just so I could fit in with that group of people, so I could be welcome. And what it really did was it put a lot of pressure on me. It put a lot of anxious thoughts in my mind, because I kept thinking, am I going to be good enough for this group of people? Is what I'm going is what I'm wearing going to impress somebody else? And the more you spend time doing that, the more anxious you're going to become in life. That's why a lot of people deal with thoughts of anxiety and depression, is because they're so worried about others. They so, self-conscious of what others thinking of them. But most of the time, people ain't really thinking about you most of the time. They ain't really looking at you. Like, it's just something that you think is going on in your head, but it really ain't. And so that's why it's hard for a lot of people to stay true to themselves, because they're so subconscious and they worried about others judging them. Let me tell you something. People are going to judge you either way. No matter if it doesn't matter. Like, people will always have something to say. You can't always agree with everybody. Just like, some people who may be listening to what I'm saying right now, there may be people who don't agree with my views on drinking or smoking or not. You know what I'm saying? Like the examples that I just used, there's going to be people who's not going to agree with me on that, because there are some people who already don't. They don't agree with me on it, but it's okay, because I would rather be my own person versus put on a costume and try to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. That's just my view on things. Right. And I'm not really that type of person anymore who gets worried about what other people think, because, like I said, I would rather stay true to who I am. Right. And stay true to my values and stay true to my beliefs, because, like, it's not about trying to impress people. The only person you're trying to really get approval from is God. Right? Because God is the one who created you in his image and his likeness. I always use that verse because I really love that verse from Genesis chapter 1, verses 27, verse 27, where it says, God has created man in his own image. So don't be trying to be somebody else that God did not call you to be. Don't be trying to be like, you know, homeboy over here, homegirl over here, who doesn't have the same mission in life. You know what I'm saying? See, there may be times where God prevents you from doing things, or where God will not allow you to be that certain thing in your life, is because he wants you to go where he wants you to go. And that's the thing we miss sometimes, is we sometimes think that, oh, if we don't go out on Friday night, or if we don't participate in some of these activities, that we're missing out. But sometimes it can be God's protection. Just like I like that. I love that phrase that Miss Tiffany said when she was on my podcast. Some things God will protect you from. Sometimes you may think that some things that you don't experience in life is because you know you're missing out. You think that you're missing out on some things, but you're really not, because sometimes God will protect you. Just like some parties that people have told me about, like I wasn't mad, because I feel like it was God's protection to keep me from there, because like I said, like I'm on a different mission in life. Like I'm trying to be a motivational speaker. I'm trying to help people who might be dealing with stuff like anxiety and depression. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you have to be this perfectly normal person, because I'm still human. I still have feelings and emotions. I still have feelings of anger. I still have feelings of sadness. I'm not saying that I'm just like this perfect person. I'm human. I made mistakes in my past, but it's like, why would I continue to participate in activities that's not going to help me get to my purpose? Like, I just don't view drinking or smoking as that's something that's going to help me achieve and help me get to where my purpose is. So it's like trying to balance out, things that are going to help you get to your purpose versus things that are not going to help you get to your purpose. And one thing that I usually do, that I've started to do more often, is starting to read. People think, oh, if you don't go out on the weekends, what do you do? Or if you don't watch it, one thing I also don't really do is watch TV. Like a lot of things people do, people will, talk about is, oh, what do you watch on Netflix? Like, oh, what's this show? Have you seen this show? Have you seen Kim Kardashian? Have you seen, this famous person on TV? Have you looked into them? I'm just like, well, I'm not really into watching TV as much as I used to. I used to watch TV all the time. See, I used to do all this stuff that a lot of people do now. A lot of the common things, like watch Netflix, go out and party, you know what I'm saying? Watch, funny videos on Instagram. Like a lot of people, that's a lot of things that are common now. making TikToks, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of things people do that are common, but I'm not common. I'm not ordinary. I'm extraordinary. Let me say that again. I'm not ordinary. I'm just extraordinary. And that's how I view myself all the time. Is that because I don't do the ordinary, I am becoming extraordinary. Because in order to be able to achieve something extraordinary, you must go out of the ordinary, right? So the ordinary may be like, okay, watch TV. When you go home, you work, you watch TV, you sit down on the couch and just watch TV all day. That's not me. I've been getting into more reading, right? I've been trying to read books on how I can be able to advance my life. And a lot of people aren't doing that because they feel like if I just sit here and not do anything, then I'm just going to go somewhere in my life. See, there's a book that I was given, and it's called Rhinoceros Success. And what I love about this book, I only read 4 chapters of this book, but it's one of those books that allow that basically gives you instructions on how to go out and take charge of your life. And one thing that I've learned reading this book, Rhinoceros Success, it's by Dave Ramsey. I'm sorry, I forgot to show you the title. Well, actually, no, it's by Scott Alexander. Excuse me, it's by Scott Alexander, but it's forwarded by David Ramsey. So it's one of those, self. I guess it's like one of those self-help books, and it talks a lot about being a rhinoceros. And a rhinoceros is somebody who takes charge, who likes to charge after things. It definitely talks about, um, the difference between it compares a rhinoceros and a cow, and how it talks about how rhinos, they take charge, they like to go after things, versus a cow who likes to sit in the grass and is lazy, right? And it was an interesting perspective because it talked about being more of a rhinoceros for success, somebody who takes charge. It's always talking about how you need to take charge in your life and how you need to get up and do things that are not ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people tend to be cows. A lot of people tend to sit down and make fun of other people on social media. They tend to do, what's popular, which is going to the clubs and everything like that, watching Netflix. But the rhinos, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun, but I'm saying that there should be a place where there should be basically a balance, right? A balance of, what's more important to you. Is it more important to go to that party? Is it more important for you to get to where you want to be so you can be financially free and live a free life? You know what I'm saying? Versus, always doing repetitive things and always wondering why you're never where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting book. I would definitely recommend you read that book, check it out. I don't think that book is really meant to be read all the way, because it just tells you you need to get up and you need to make stuff happen. Right. And so one other quote that I remember learning, that I remember hearing over and over, you know, by Inky Johnson, and he has this thing on Spotify where he talks about in one of his albums, it's like a motivational soundtrack on Spotify, where it says where he says this quote that says, do what others won't so you can have the results that others don't. Do what others won't so you can have the results that others don't. And so sometimes you're going to have to give up some things, in order for you to be able to get to where you want to be. And you have to be able to let go of certain things in order for you to get to where you want to be, man. And you may have to let go of certain friends. Like that may be having to be friends who aren't aligned with your value system. If you're around people and they are not helping you advance your life, if you're around people and you don't and they're not talking about where they want to be, what are their goals, what are their aspirations, if they're just talking about just throwing their life in the wind, just saying, forget it, I'm just going to just go out and be reckless, then those are not the type of people you need to be around. Like every time I'm around my friends, we always talking about what are we trying to do with our lives? How are we, what are the next 5 years? What does our future hold? What are some big things we want to accomplish? I got a friend named Shay. I mentioned him before. My friend Shay. What I love about my friend Shay is he's always thinking big. He wants to go into real estate. He wants to have his own duplexes. He's always talking to me about real estate. He always talking to me about how he wants to be his own boss and how he wants to be big. He wants to travel. He wants to live his own life. And see, these are people that you need to be around. Is somebody who's willing to allow you to think big versus thinking small. If you're around people and they're, making you feel less than, if you're around people and they're always talking about what they can't do and how it's impossible, then you shouldn't be around those people at all, man. You need to get you some people who think big. You need to get yourself around people who's willing to take risks. Not stupid risks, but risks that's gonna change your life. I'm not talking about stupid risks like, go out in the middle of the street and start running around and stuff. I'm not talking about those type of risks that can cost you a life. I'm talking about risks that can put you in a better position financially, man. That's gonna allow you to put yourself in a better position, you know, mentally, physically, or whatnot, that's going to help you advance your career. So that's the type of people you need to be around, man. And also the people who's going to not challenge you for who you are, but is going to accept you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Not challenge you for who you are, but accept you for who you are. There's a difference. People who challenge you, or people who decide to challenge who you are the people that's always trying to judge you on why you don't do what they do. And that's common. That's just how it's gonna be. I've noticed how people are always question why you don't do what they do. And that's fine because that's how most people are. But people who are willing to accept you for who you are the people you need to spend your time around. You need to go where you celebrate, not tolerate. And that's a repeated phrase, but I'm gonna say it again. You need to go where you celebrate it and not tolerate it. Somebody who's going to lift you up and be able to respect who you are. They don't have to agree with it. They don't have to agree with everything that you do, but they just have to learn how to respect it. You know what I'm saying? They just have to learn how to respect that the mission that you're trying to go on in life. So that's what I always love about my friends is that they know I don't do some of this stuff. They know that I'm different from the average person, but they are cool with that and they accept me for that. They accept that I don't drink. They accept that I don't smoke. And I've been using that example a lot because I know that, sometimes people can, that can make or break people's relationships is if you don't do some of these things that other people do, they can just, not be okay with it, which is like why though? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, get you some people who are going to allow you to stay true to yourself. A lot of people that's going to allow you to grow and develop into who you want to become and not what they want you to become. And I'll go ahead and, say this scripture, man. I found this scripture in the Bible, and it's from Second Timothy chapter 2, verses 15. And it says, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed. Let me run that back one more time. I said in book in Second Timothy verses 2 through 15, it talks about how to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed. So what this verse is saying is, do not be ashamed to present yourself to God as as who you are. Do not be ashamed to present yourself to God for who you are, because God knows that He has created you. He has approved you. So when I was talking earlier about not needing approval from other people, the only person that you need to get approved from is God. So stop trying to live for the approval of other people. Do not steer away from the values that you have to impress other people. And I've stopped being about that a long time ago. Because if you continue to do that, you're going to continue to fall behind. You're going to fall behind because your vision is going to be blurred, because your vision is not going to be clear enough for you to see what you want. If you so focus on what everybody else wants, you're going to have a hard time seeing what you want. So in order to be able to stay focused on yourself, really it's no complicated formula. I know people, sometimes they wonder is it that they can stay true to themselves? How is it that they can find what they like to do? And one thing you got to do is spend more time with yourself. You got to spend more time exploring some things for yourself, not for other people. You know what I'm saying? You got to, like I said, like you got to spend that time with yourself. Spend time studying yourself, knowing what you're good at and what you ain't good at. And that comes from trying things. You got to be able to try things for yourself. Don't be afraid to try something because you're afraid to fail. See, in order for you to succeed, you must fail. Just like when I first started cooking, it was like it was different because I've never done it before. Like, and I was always like worried about, oh, am I going to cook it at the right temperature? I'm gonna burn it. And there's been times where I messed up on some things. I messed up on some meals. But over time, I kept getting better. And as months went by, I started seeing progression in my cooking. I started knowing how to cook it at the right temperature, knowing what temperature to cook at, knowing how long to cook it, what seasoning to put in it, what type of ingredients I need. So it just takes practice. And the only way you can really discover what you like and what you don't like is if you try it. Is if you just try things for yourself, not trying things for the approval of other people, but trying things for yourself. But really, it's about studying yourself, really about trying to figure out what you like. And you can get a lot of that help from talking to God. See, I didn't really find who I was until I started talking to God and started really opening up my Bible and reading. That's how you find who you really are. That's how you find the purpose that God has for you, is by talking to God and asking Him to reveal it for you. Because He's the one who created you. He can tell you everything that you know, and that He can tell you everything about you that you may not know about yourself because you're so worried about trying to see what other people like and seeing what other people think of you. So my thing is this, man, when you got time, just take 30 minutes or an hour a day to really find out who it is that you are. What are some things that you like? What are some things that you want to accomplish? And then start writing them down. Start writing down things that you want to do. Write down sacrifices that you need to make in order to make whatever dream you want to become a reality. So, it just starts by spending time with yourself. Don't even like try to go on social media. Don't just like, have a room. Just get in a room. Turn everything off and just start talking to God. Start talking to God, and also, really study who you are. Study some of your behaviors. Stuff like that, man. That's gonna really help you to figure out who you are, man. But like I said, as I come to a close on this episode, man, on the show, I just want to just remind you guys to stay true to yourself. Stay true to who you are. Do not try to get verification from others, right? The only person you need to get verification from is God. Okay. And if you tell yourself that I am enough, and you tell yourself that who you are is enough because you've been created by God, that's all you need, man. That's the only verification you need. So, like I said, man, stay true to who you are, stay true to your values. Do not let people throw you off from who you are, and do not be afraid to have people dog you out, because that's just what's gonna happen. People are just gonna dog you out. Like I said earlier, people will dog you out for being who you are, but that's fine, because if you know who you are, you won't get bothered by other people's opinions. So do not be afraid to get dogged out. Just accept, you don't have to deal with that. You can always move to a different location. You have the ability to get up and move to a place where you celebrate it and not tolerate it. All right. That's all the time I got, man. This your boy Chris Simmons, man. Go ahead and check us out on Instagram at Disinfecting Your Life. That's no spaces nor capitals. Once again, that's at Disinfecting Your Life, no spaces nor capitals. Also, if you're on Twitter, follow us on Twitter at This In Your Life One. So again, on Twitter, that's at DISN Your Life and the number one. And also on Facebook, follow us on Facebook at Disinfect Your Life. Okay, so on Facebook, for those of you who still got Facebook, follow us at Disinfect Your Life. And also go out, if you go to eBay, or like I said, you can go on our Instagram, because Instagram, probably has the most stuff on it. because that's the one we decided to focus on. Me and my boy Shay, we started building up the Instagram page. You will see there's a link tree in our bio. If you click the link tree, you will see all these different tabs under there. And one tab that I want you to particularly check out is the merch. So if you click the merch tab in our link tree, you will see that we have shirts and hoodies. So I know the fall season is coming up. So we have our Step Toward Your Purpose hoodies. I just went ahead right before the show. I placed my order for my hoodie. So it's about to come in. So I already got my hoodie. So like I said, like I'm gonna be ready for the fall because I know up here in Kent, Ohio, which is near Cleveland, Ohio, just to kind of give you guys a better reference, it gets cold up here. And I know next week, actually, the temperature for next week, it's supposed to, I know on Thursday, it's supposed to get down to 60 degrees and it's supposed to rain. So there's a cold front coming in here. So it's definitely gonna feel like fall next week. I'm gonna tell you that. So it's gonna be time to bring out the jackets. Now I haven't had to wear a jacket yet because it's been hot, but it looks like fall is about to kick in here up here in Kent, Ohio, because it's gonna be down in the 60s, bro. It's gonna be cold. So I'm gonna definitely get my hoodie. I'm gonna be rocking it, hopefully rocking it next week for the podcast. And yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I got a lot of great things coming up, man. I'm gonna be speaking with somebody this on Monday. She was actually I did not know she was actually one of my biggest fans, bro. Like when I started doing the live sessions, um, she was on there and she really enjoyed them. And now she wants to reach out to me. She wants to talk to me about stuff that's going on. So I'm really looking forward to being able to see what she's got to talk about. She's an older lady. She's in her 50s, and she's like a mom. She's also planning on writing a book. So I'm hoping to have a great conversation. You might see her on here. You might see her on here, bro, because like I said, she's on the same mission in life. Seems like she is. She, why not be able to, work with her and be able to, spread the positive messages, man. So, like I said, there's a lot going down, man. But I'm very excited for the direction of this podcast, and I'll continue to keep doing this as long as I'm able to, as long as God bless me to live. And yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. A lot going down, a lot of information. But yeah, stay tuned. Keep up with the podcast, man. We're doing great things, man. But all right, man. Like I said, this your boy, Chris Simmons, come to a close. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Take care. Peace.